Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a big sister chat. We're going to be talking about 4 things that we wish we knew when we were single. So one of the things that I really found that after getting married, after getting in a relationship, was that marriage absolutely did not solve all of my problems. I found that actually, if anything, it made my problems highlighted. So it was like holding a mirror up to my face with everything that I either struggled with or things that I felt like I could definitely work on.
It's like when people go on their first date, they try their best to show the other person their good side.
Yeah, and I would just say that I can think of like being a super angsty teenager in my room when I was in high school and thinking, oh, if I, just had this one relationship that I saw in this movie, then, I'd be happier. It would take away my anxiety. I would just feel fulfilled. I'd finally have a friend. But I felt like when I did get married, there were still pockets of time where I still felt those same things.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like you didn't make it better, but those feelings never fully went away. I don't think a person could actually take away any of those things in your life.
Can I add one more thing?
Oh, yeah.
Also, the best type of relationships are the relationships that allow you to be yourself. The fake stuff won't last long.
Yeah.
Eventually that person will know every single thing about you, and you'll know every single thing about that person.
Yeah.
So
he has another one that he wants to share, right, babe?
Yeah, the second one?
Yeah.
Can I read it?
Yeah.
A relationship isn't...
Well, can you rephrase that? Just be like, so the one thing that I thought...
Okay. Another thing that I would tell my younger self would be that marriage won't complete you. In other words, it's not the final destination. If you are in this mindset that when you get married, life will finally feel complete, or you'll finally be at peace with yourself, that is the biggest lie. We're not only telling ourselves that lie, but that's what we see. That lie is advertised.
Yeah.
In Hollywood's so good at advertising this
facade,
romantic, peaceful life after you find the one. That is such a lie. I mean, I love you, and I love you, and you mean the world to me. But I'm also understanding that there's still more that I want in life. But at the same time, it's still amazing.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, myself included, when I was younger, kind of had this thought that marriage would complete me as well. I really did think that I was one half of a person, and then another guy was another half of a person, and then we'd make one whole person.
Yeah.
But that is, this is obviously something I haven't really seen now. I think a lot of people are definitely romanticizing their single life and enjoying it so much more and thriving in their single life, which I love. But I don't know, for some reason, I just remember vividly when I was in high school and a little bit of college, I really did have this impression that having this relationship would make me more of a person, make me more whole. Yeah. And sometimes you do feel that way when you do get to a certain age. People are pushing that agenda onto you. Yeah. Parents might ask you oh, when are you going to get in a relationship? Or, maybe a few of your friends have gotten married and they're starting to ask you, have you started dating yet? So there's that I don't know, this idea that it has to happen, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the end goal. It doesn't have to be something that you absolutely need in life to feel complete. There are tons of things in life that can make you feel complete, and a relationship just doesn't have to be one of them.
Yeah, and it's just sad that we grew up just watching all these Disney movies of all these relationships.
Totally.
And it's just, man, it's so sad because it actually has skewed our perspective of relationships.
Right.
And so that's why, if I was to tell my younger self, I'd say, hey, it won't complete you. Mm-hmm. It's awesome, but you shouldn't bank on that to give you satisfaction.
So this has been something that I see a lot online, something I hear about in conversations with friends still. And it's something that I actually had experience with Moni, and he knows about this story. He's okay with me sharing it. But I would tell my younger self, and in retrospect, I'm glad that this didn't happen, because I could have been with someone else if that was the case. I mean, I love you, but I would tell my younger self.
Hold on, really?
I don't know.
That was a deal breaker, like that. Okay, just go ahead and
okay.
tell.
I would tell myself.
Honestly, though, if you like.
I mean, okay.
On it, if you decided to pursue like someone else because of that reason, superficial.
Listen, this is a real thing that I think a lot of women deal with, and I would tell my younger self to stop being. I thought you were gonna sneeze. I was so scared.
I need water.
Oh, we're almost done.
I'm talking about it.
Yeah. Oh, there's water right there. Pause. I would tell my younger self to look past the ick. And it can be a turnoff. Like, you find one thing about a guy that turns you off completely to him. And I would not be sitting here today if I did not look past the ick of when Moni and I met for the first time. I told him this story after we got married, actually. I didn't even tell him this story when we were dating or when we got engaged. I had to lock it in and make sure that he wouldn't run away because of my past, thoughts. But when we met for the first time, he had this very interesting outfit where he was wearing yellow sweatpants.
This is interesting as well.
No, this matches. But he was wearing black sweatpants with a yellow sweatshirt and these really weird sneakers. And I remember seeing him and thinking, it's not gonna work out. Like, he just dresses weird and it just clashes. It's not a good look. And I was kind of like a little distant that day, if I remember correctly. I don't know if you remember, but I was kind of like, okay, maybe I just don't think this is gonna work.
Was it the first day?
It was the second day we met. Yeah, I looked past it though. I had to convince myself that,
wow,
like he said, it's very superficial. And there are other things that you could get the ick from, like bad breath and like long fingernails and I don't know, I guess like real superficial things, but like how someone dresses should, in my opinion, in some ways I feel like how someone dresses kind of matters.
Yeah.
But to the extent of like, okay.
It's like one outfit. Like, I'm not, like, one thing I want to let them know is I'm not, like, I don't dress bad. Like, I actually have a fashion sense. But I guess that specific day,
it was just
I was lacking. And we all have those days.
Yeah.
But she caught me lacking.
Totally.
And that almost became
the reason. Because when you have the ick, I think there are other things that you can notice about a person that can turn you off to them as well. But if you look past a lot of the things, you can find yourself with someone who is really kind, who's honest, who has a lot of great values. It's just kind of getting over that hunch of where that ick comes from. So yes, there are some reasons to have the ick and not really like stay within the relationship, but just for me, I found that when I got the ick, it was over very superficial things. So that's one thing. But he's gonna share the last one for us, and we're gonna wrap up the video.
Yeah. So the last one is when it comes to idolizing marriage or even relationships.
Right.
I caught myself doing this when I was single. I'd always like go online and like just scroll around, and then I begin to idolize all these relationships that I saw.
Yeah.
There was this fitness influencer that I was following at the time, and I'd always look at his relationship and I'd be like, man, that's the ideal relationship that I want.
It's the end goal.
And now that I'm in a relationship, in a marriage, one thing I understand is if marriage becomes your God, you'll understand that it will not satisfy you. Going back to what we were talking about.
And it'll let you down.
It will let you down. Right? The very same thing that you idolize could be the very same thing that you dread. There's a lot of work that's involved in marriage. Like a lot of self-denial, a lot of you gotta be selfless and love on the other person and put the other person first. And so it's like, if you idolize something that actually requires you to be someone who serves the other person.
Oh wow, I've never even thought about it like that.
Like imagine like you idolizing this job that you want, and then you clock in 3 months in, you're like, I dread it.
Yeah.
It's like you got the money that you wanted, you got you're working the hours, but you're still not satisfied. And that's always the result of us idolizing something that we shouldn't.
That's good.
So that's just that's one thing I'd say to myself. Because right now, like, even though the relationship, this marriage is great, can I be honest with you? There's something else that I'm longing for.
Yeah.
And that's just our human nature. Is like, we're always gonna long for something. But this is where faith comes in. Mm-hmm. This is why I love being a follower of Jesus. Mm-hmm. And this is why I love I love our relationship, that it's godly, because no matter what, we know that our satisfaction, our completion, our perfection comes from Christ.
That's good.
We were both with Christ before we got with each other. Regardless of whatever happens in life, we know that we have a solid foundation in Christ. There's this passage in the Bible that says, the foolish man builds his house on sand. The wise man builds his house on the rock. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, before you even get into building a life with someone else, build your life with Christ first.
That's good.
That's like something I always tell people, and that's something that I wish I kind of knew, and to my younger self. I mean, I understood later on in life, but man, if I knew this sooner, it would have been awesome. But
totally. So we hope that you guys found these tips useful. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Take care, y'all.